It appears that President Trump is attempting to buy the loyalty of the Republican Senate. So now that suggests, of course, that Trump is deeply worried about impeachment once it gets to the Senate. So now let me go to a report in Politico that kind of spells this out. It appears that Trump is attempting to regain the full support of the GOP lawmakers in the Senate that are facing tough reelection prospects by showering them with money with campaign contributions. Now, Politico, like I said, wrote that Trump is tapping into his vast fundraising network for a handful of loyal senators facing tough reelection bids in 2020. Each of them has signed on to a Republican backed resolution condemning the impeachment inquiry as, quote, unprecedented and undemocratic, which is hilarious because impeachment, literally in the Constitution, that is part of democracy. Being able to hold your leaders accountable through votes from elected representatives, 100% democratic. Hilarious. More. In an email to supporters titled Witch Hunt, according to the report, on Wednesday, the Trump reelection campaign set a fundraising appeal to its massive email list, urging donors to provide a contribution that would be divided between the president and several Republican senators, including Cory Gardner, Joni Ernst, Tom Tillis, and of course, by the way, those are the three that are mentioned in the report. And each of those senators just happens to be supporting the anti-impeachment resolution. Mm. And they're also, like I said, facing some dire reelection chances. So now, missing here, and this tells you a lot, Suzanne Collins. Suzanne Collins. Now, Politico notes that the new online fundraising drive bypassed Collins, an occasional Trump critic who called on the president to retract his tweet comparing the impeachment investigation to a lynching. Collins also said that Trump made a big mistake in asking China to investigate the Biden family. Trump saw that and said, well, you're not loyal. You're not with me, so I'm not going to give you any money. Sad. Well, hey, look, sad for her, maybe good for us. There's a primary challenger or a progressive challenger in Maine right now. Now's a good time. She's vulnerable. Now, as for the other, along with Arizona Senator Martha McSally, they are facing tough reelection campaigns, and losses could mean control of the Senate could change hands, which would have been, again, disastrous for President Trump and the Republicans. Now, the president, according to the report, is looking to buck up senators coming under mounting pressure and impeachment. Gardner is widely seen as the most jeopardized Republican incumbent up for re-election, faced criticism earlier this month after he dodged questions about Donald Trump's conduct. Ernst was confronted at a town hall over her support for the president. This week, a liberal group began a multi-million-dollar advertising campaign pushing both Republican senators to support impeachment. Now, Mike Reed, a Republican National Committee spokesman, begged for cash that brought in six figures, adding that our supporters stand totally behind the president and are eager to support down-ballot candidates who do the same. So what this is basically, here's Trump saying, if you support me on impeachment, I will give you money. If you do not support me in impeachment, well, then you're on your own, dude. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to vote for you. I'm not going to do anything for you. So that's, and what's interesting about this is that it shows a degree of what he does to people who are not loyal to him. Now, it's not loyalty to the Republican Party. It's not loyalty to the policies. It's loyalty to President Trump, who clearly committed quid pro quo and, of course, had asked a foreign government to intervene in an election matter. That, of course, is illegal. You can't actually do that. It's a campaign finance violation, emolument, whatever. It is illegal. You can't do that. But like I said, the report noted that the door is open for the president's campaign to add more senators if they, of course, pledge their loyalty. And so that's what we have. We have the president literally buying senators that to support him. That's crazy. So now, the reason this matters is because it appears that he seems to be worried. He's worried that the Senate's going to turn on him. Remember, his fate, when it comes to impeachment, literally rests in the Senate. You only need about 20 Republicans to defect. If they do, he's done. Now, I don't think right now that's going to happen. I think it's very unlikely that you're going to have enough Republicans turn on the president and vote to oust him. So, and the reason, of course, is because you have the Republican Party. 90% of the Republican voters approve of Donald Trump, even though you do have a majority of the country, 51%, saying that not only do we want Trump impeached, but we also want him removed. So these Republican senators, they're fighting for an increasingly small amount of people. And so their base, that's all they got. They don't appeal to independents. They don't appeal to, obviously, progressives or mainstream liberals. And so all they have is the base. The base loves Donald Trump. And so they're not going to turn on Donald Trump until or unless the base actually does. And as I've seen, not going to happen. Very, very unlikely. That said, you think these Republican congressmen actually like Donald Trump? No, of course not. It was noted, according to inside sources, that 35 Republicans, if it were a secret vote, would vote to remove the president because they know he's an idiot. They know he's destroying the country. They know he's essentially destroying the Republican Party. And so they're like, we don't really want to have anything to do with that. But at the same time, look at our voters. If we don't support the president, we are going to lose. Now, it remains to be seen that if you do support the president, if you still lose in some of these races, like I said, some of these senators have very difficult reelection campaigns. Suzanne Collins, Cory Gardner, Joni Ernst, Tom Tillis, and some of them have progressive challengers that could appeal to traditionally even Trump voters or get new progressive voters out there to actually come and vote. So it's a bad situation for some of these congressmen, and generally a bad situation for Donald Trump. And so I'm looking to see what happens here, what happens, of course, during these elections, or even impeachment, and who comes out to really support him. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.